He was there, but he's got autographs now.
I'm overwhelmed for that presentation that Mr. Deford made. I'm used to giving speeches to ask people for money, which is easy. But I don't want to do that tonight, so because you all are used to giving speeches like that and asking people for money. But what I want to say is, I remember, I'll tell a story that I've never told before, and I remember the book Alex, The Life of a Child. I remember when the movie came out, the made-for-TV movie, and I'm pretty sure it was around when I was 12 or 13 years old. And I remember my mom, telling me about it, that it was going to be on TV, and but I could tell she didn't want to watch it with me. It was on late at night anyway. And I know she went downstairs to watch it, and I went up to sleep. And what she didn't know is that I snuck out of my room and went into the den, and had a den there with the TV, and I watched it. And my health didn't really start to decline until I was 12, right then and there, 12 and 13. And it was slow at first, but I didn't have any lung involvement until that age. That was my first hospitalization, too, around that time. And so after it ended, I quickly went back into my room and, pretended that I was asleep. And I don't know if any of you all have seen the movie, but it's a pretty telling, emotional tale. And it was hard for me to relate to it at that time, but it was definitely a forecast of what my life was going to become. But I remember hearing my mom come upstairs that night, and, coming into my room, and you were probably thinking the same thing I was thinking at that time, which was, this is going to define our life moving forward. You're going to dedicate your entire life to finding a cure for this disease, which we are almost there. And I sat in bed for the first time thinking, what is this disease? What does it mean? And I went through the stages of grief that probably most people do. There's denial and anger and depression and bargaining and finally acceptance. And I did all this that night. And you come to terms with the illness, and that cycle repeated itself many times a year for the rest of my life. And what I decided I wanted that night was really just to have a normal life. That's it. Now, what is a normal life when you're 12 years old? So to me, it was just a picture image of what my family was. So I had wonderful parents, a successful dad who was really important to me, and a brother, and that was it. That's all that I wanted to accomplish, was to have my own family. And I accomplished that goal. I have a beautiful wife and 2 amazing twin boys. So it was as simple as that, setting that small ideal of what I thought would be a normal life. Now that would have ended a year and a half ago. I was literally a day or 2 away from losing the battle with CF, and luckily, had a second transplant. Just in the nick of time, from a donor named Clayton, who I'd like to recognize, a young man, 19 years old. So, I know there's so many stories out there of survivors and people who have lost their battle, and it's sort of a big circle. You all are the inspiration that has kept me fighting for 38 years. People that you meet at the events and just who don't have a direct connection or who have an indirect connection, and everyone is so gung-ho to raise money, and it's inspiring. And then what inspires me, especially after a transplant, is, the people my peers who have lost their battle to cystic fibrosis, and it's my goal to continue to raise money. And this year, the last year since my transplant, it's been a totally different experience now that I feel incredible, which is one thing. But to go out there and actually ask people for money and to raise money, the people that have lost their battles are inspiring me. So it's a big circle of life, and you can see the end is close, and there's so much excitement right now that the whole cystic fibrosis community is abuzz. That it's a really exciting time, and I just want to thank everyone out there so much for this award. It means a lot to me, but it really, it's a little surreal to get an award for just surviving, and that's all that I really have tried to do. Rich and Bob and Preston, I mean, it's, what it makes the CA Foundation amazing is it's people like you who, I feel like I want to call you guys like Uncle Rich, Uncle Bob, because you guys, it's so obvious that you care about all the adults and children and young adults with cystic fibrosis, and all you all care about is finding a cure for this disease. Like, we were part of your family, and I want to speak for behalf of the people with cystic fibrosis. We all feel that, and our gratitude is, not easily put into words. So thank you guys personally, and everyone else out there who has a story. I really appreciate the honor tonight, and hopefully in a few more years, but definitely in the future, we'll have saved, everyone's life. Thanks.